Yo, what's going on, everybody? Here it is finally college football season, and I'm gonna do my way too early predictions for the college football playoff. Baseball season's, it's still in full swing, but we all know college football is the greatest thing to ever grace this earth. So I want to get in on the action, and I'm going to predict the 25-26 college football playoff with a champion at the end, and we'll see how well I do. It's a little, we're in June, so um, it's pretty early, but we'll see how we do. So first up, I'm gonna give you guys my conference winners, and the one thing that people don't realize this year as well is that conference winners don't get automatic buys this year. They're automatic qualifiers, but they don't get automatic buy. I think it's a great change for this year. I can't wait for the potential 14 to 16 team playoff. We'll see how it goes in the coming years. But yeah, we'll get into these are my 5 conference winners that are going to get into the playoff with an automatic qualifier. First, winning the SEC, I got Texas. I don't think that's a shock there. They're the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing right now. I think I'm a believer in Arch. I'll come out and say it. 100% believer. I don't know if he'll light the world on fire immediately, but I'm a believer. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback, and I do think he stays another year, which is going to be great for college football. Then going over to it, I think Penn State finally gets their big wins. They mainly have like 2 big games this year, Oregon and Ohio State. I think they split those, and then they get into the Big Ten championship, and I think they win it. I think this is the team with so much uncertainty in the Big Ten at the quarterback position. I think them having a proven guy will help them a ton because, I mean, at Ohio State, you got Julian Sayin. At Oregon, you got Dante Moore. And then at Michigan, who's really the only other threat potentially, if everything goes to plan, it's probably Bryce Underwood. So I think with the uncertainty and with all the returning production Penn State has, they win the Big Ten this year, finally. Clemson in the ACC, not really a shock there. I think they're just generally the best team in the ACC, and they're going to kind of walk through it. I wouldn't sleep on Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech's going to be really good this year. I don't know about playoff caliber, but I think I like going on record here. I think the ACC championship will be Clemson and Georgia Tech. I don't think Miami makes it. Then going over to the Big 12, I know a lot of people picking Arizona State. I'm going to go with Texas Tech. I said them back in like January, February when we were wrapping up the year for college football on HTL, and I said they're going to win the conference back then, and it's all the take has aged so well because they've brought in the best portal class. They've gone all in on this year, and I think this year has to be the year Texas Tech does it because they've spent so much money on their team. And if it's not this year, I don't think it's going to happen with all the new rules and regulations coming out. And then with the group of 5, I'm going to go chalk. I'm going to pick Boise State. I could see potentially Navy. I think it's really between them two. But I'm going to go with a team that's been there and done it. I still think they're really good even without Genty. So, you just get a quarterback with another year of experience, and then I still think they're a really good group of 5 team, and they probably would have made it last year even without Genty, even though he was basically their whole offense. I think they still would have been really good without him. So we can go into the team that is going to get the last bye now. As you know, you don't have to win a conference to get a bye now. And I'm going to go a little bit bold. I think it's Alabama. I think Alabama is going to be really good this year. Kalen DeBoer is going to have them boys playing. And I do think that they're going to be really good this year. So I have Alabama being the team that gets the last bye. And basically that's my SEC championship right there. Texas and Bama. Texas wins, but as you know, the playoff doesn't really, like it doesn't, hurt you if you lose the championship game. So I think Bama will be going in there, and they lose the SEC championship, but they still get the bye because they're a ranked high. Then we'll go into the team that I think gets the 5th seed, and this is the team that I think loses to Penn State in the Big Ten championship, and that is Ohio State. I think Penn State's going to lose to Ohio State in the regular season, but then kind of get their get back in the Big Ten championship, because I think it's hard to beat a really good team twice. I mean, we saw it with Oregon last year when they beat them in Eugene, and then they go into the Rose Bowl and get steamrolled by Ohio State. So I think Penn State's going to be able to beat them in the Big Ten championship, but Ohio State will still be right there, and they're going to get the 5 seed. Then we can go over to the 6 seed LSU. This is a year where there's so much uncertainty at the quarterback position throughout, honestly, all of college football. This team's got a really good one. He could be in New York. That's why I think they're going to be really good. But then they've also reloaded in the portal. Their defense was drastically improved last year, even though it wasn't great compared to the year before. It was night and day, and I think it's only going to get better. They've had a really good portal class, and I don't see the hate on Brian Kelly. I think he's actually genuinely a good coach. One slightly down year. I don't see why he's getting hate. He came to the SEC 2 years ago, I think, and made it to the SEC championship in his first year. That's pretty freaking good. A lot of coaches haven't even done that in 10 years. So I think Brian Kelly will get them to the playoff this year. Then we'll go on to the 7 seed. It's Oregon. Another kind of chalk, but Oregon is really good. Dante Moore made a 5-star transfer out a week into practice. I think he's going to be really good. Now, there's going to be that inexperienced playing. He has started before. That was at UCLA. Oregon's a different breed. You have pressure on you there. You don't have pressure on you at UCLA. And he kind of lost the job at UCLA. So I do think that he's going to be really good, though, in that system. And I think they're going to have a lot of explosive plays for them. So I think they're going to be able to. They're not going to make the Big Ten championship this year, but I still think they're going to go 10-2, 11-1, maybe miss out, something like that, and get the 7 seed and host a playoff game. So yeah, those are the hosts. I have Ohio State hosting as a 5, LSU hosting as a 6, Oregon hosting as a 7, and then conference champion Texas Tech hosting as an 8. Then we go on to who is facing Texas Tech. And that's my Florida Gators. I know you guys see the sign behind me, but I do genuinely think this team is going to be so good. DJ Lagway, I will not be shocked if he's not only in New York, but is the best quarterback in all of college football next year. I really will not be shocked. I think he's if Arch, I think right now in the 27 draft, the quarterbacks that are there, it's between Arch and DJ right now for me. And Arch can go next year. I just don't think he does. But those are the quarterbacks right there. I think DJ is going to be so good. We have a ton of returning production. Jaden Ball was very good as a freshman at our running back. Wide receiver room is so deep. Offensive line returned a ton of starters. Defensive line, and defensively, we have a bunch of underclassmen that played 200 plus snaps last year. So I think we're super experienced, and we're only going to grow. And we ended the season super hot last year, basically kind of ended the playoff hopes for LSU and Ole Miss last year. So I think that is why we are going to be the 9 seed against Texas Tech. And then going over to the 10 seed, I have Notre Dame. I mean, they're probably just going to go 12-0 and make it 11-1 probably. They might lose in Northern Illinois again, but we'll have to see. They got some tough games. They got Miami, they got USC. I don't think those are any slouch teams. They could slip up once, but I still think they're a top 12 team in college football. I think they'll make it. I really do believe in them. And Marcus Freeman's a really good coach. I wasn't so high on him last year. Then I saw his coaching in the playoffs, and now I think he's a top 5 coach in college football. That's how good he coached. He outcoached outcoached Kirby Smart in their playoff game against Georgia, and that is hard to do. So yeah, that's why I have Notre Dame at the 10. And then my 11 seed, the last team getting in. I know you guys are thinking, oh, it's going to be Ole Miss. Oh, it's going to be Michigan, maybe something like that. Georgia's getting in. It's Georgia. It's Kirby Smart. They're going to get in. And I know what you're saying. 5 SEC teams. What? I think the Big Ten right now is 3 teams. 3 teams that gets in. I don't think the ACC is going to be that good this year, and the Big 12 is going to probably be a historically, until they do like an AQ model. Historically, they're going to be a one bid league, and then you got to put in Notre Dame in there because they're going to be really good, and then you got your one group of 5 team. So I do think 5 SEC team gets in. I'm not super high on Georgia, to be honest. I'm probably lower on them than most, but I'm high on Kirby Smart. That coaching, like, I think last year's coaching job was way better than people think. They had a down year. Their team was not good, and they won the ACC. They won the hardest conference to win. That coaching staff is elite. Like, they could not run the ball at all last year. They were in like the hundreds. Their defense was nowhere near on par what Georgia normally is, and they still won the ACC over Texas, who put up the best fight in the playoffs against the team that ended up winning it in Ohio State. So it's Georgia. I think they're gonna find a way to make the playoff. Probably go like 9-3. It's a tough schedule. I mean, everyone in the SEC's got a pretty tough schedule. Florida, brutal schedule, but I think 9-3 gets them in because that schedule is tough, and I think Florida will be able to get in. But I think 9-3 will get Florida, and I think a 3-loss team gets in this year. So we can go now to the matchups, who I think is going to win, starting with the Texas Tech and Florida game. And I think you guys know where I'm going. I'm going Florida. I just do. I like, even if I wasn't a Florida fan, I think Florida is better than Texas Tech. Texas Tech is really good. It's between them and Arizona State in the Big 12, and it's going to be hard to beat Arizona State, but I have Texas Tech doing it. So I think Texas Tech is really good. But I think Florida and the SEC, you're going to get like 2-3 weeks off in between these games to prepare. And if you give those boys time to rest after that, they're going to be fresh and ready to go. I think Florida gets it done. Then moving on to the next game, I have Notre Dame beating Oregon. This is just coach. I think Marcus Freeman is going to they like, it's the middle 8, like they said last year. Notre Dame dominated from the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half, and kind of just put you away. They did that. They did that honestly up until the Penn State game, I believe. They may have done it in the Penn State game as well. Who knows? I can't remember, to be honest. The only game they didn't dominate was the Ohio State game, and that's why they lost. But that coaching job was very good, and I just believe in this team. I think they're super well coached. Then we go to, we all know Ohio State's going to be Boise. It probably won't be pretty. And honestly, I do think the committee does right this time and gives the group of 5 winner the 12, no matter what, kind of. I think that Boise team was kind of an outlier. I think it was Genty that kind of propelled them up there. I don't think a group of 5 team ever hosts again, as they shouldn't. So yeah, or gets a bye then and host. But I do think Ohio State beats Boise pretty handily. I think going into the last one, I'm high on this LSU team. I think they're really good. Good quarterback, good receivers, drastically improved defense. I'm very high on them. I think they'll be able to beat Georgia, because in that one, it's not really coaches to me. It's just personnel. I think they both have really good coaches. Obviously, Georgia's got Kirby Smart, the best coach in the game. But I just think roster-wise, I think LSU's got it, and quarterback play will get them the win right there, because I think Nussmeier is significantly better than Stockton. Significantly. Then, as depressing as it is, Texas is going to beat Florida. it's a rematch of earlier in the regular season. Obviously this one's not going to be at Texas like the one in this one it's in Florida this year actually. So I think Texas is going to be able to beat us. I think they're the best. They're going to be really good. So and Arch is, I think I'm a believer in Arch, as I said, but it's going to be such a good battle between DJ and Arch that this game is going to be must see TV. Then I got Ohio State beating Alabama. Um, we saw it a little bit last year where all the lower seeds won because they played the week before, so maybe you get hot. I think this is kind of this case as well, but also both of these quarterbacks don't have any playoff experience. But going into this game, Julian saying will playing against his former team. It's probably going to be Ty Simpson at quarterback for Alabama, unless injuries or something like that, or if he just plays absolutely terrible, in which case I don't think they make the playoff. But I think he plays actually pretty good. But I think Ohio State, the pedigree, they've been there, done it last year. I think they get it done against Alabama. Then going over to the other side, Penn State gets their big win again and revenge from last year, and they beat Notre Dame. Penn State arguably should have won that game last year. Drew Aller missed a lot of throws that could have been touchdowns. I think he gets it done this year. I think he's not this Notre Dame defense will be really good. I don't know if it would be as good as last year. So I think Penn State will be able to get it done and get their revenge on Notre Dame. Next one. This game, I think I love all of these semifinal matchups, but this one is going to be in my opinion, very high scoring, very fun to watch. And I'm going to take LSU. I'm going to take the SEC team. I'm high on this team. I love Nussmeier. I think they're really good out wide, and their defense has, as I said, going to improve drastically. I mean, they've got some new personnel and the coaching staff there that I think they're trending in the right direction. So I think they're going to be really good this year. Then Texas Ohio State rematch. I mean, we have 3 of the 4 teams from last year in the Final Four and the Final Four this year, and a rematch of one of them, Texas Ohio State. And I'm going to go with Texas. Texas gets their revenge. I just think Arch will be better, and Texas's roster overall is just better. Their pass rush is going to be deadly this year. If Texas gets an early lead and you have to start throwing the ball against them, you're kind of fucked, to be honest. That defensive line is going to be so good. And then the offense is going to be elite as well. I believe in Arch, but unless he's absolutely horrible, that team is going to be so good, and that's why they're the odds-on favorite to win the Natty. Then going over to this Penn State LSU game, I think this is just kind of a bad matchup for Penn State. That's why I think LSU gets it done. I think LSU's offense is going to be more explosive, and so they're going to be able to get it done. I think it's just kind of a bad matchup. Penn State's, you kind of physical team, and I think LSU can be physical as well, but they're also going to be able to put up points. And I don't know if Penn State will be able to do that. They've shown it a little bit these past few years, and they still have a really good team. But down the stretch, who do I trust, Drew Aller or Garrett Nussmeier? I hate to say it, but I trust Garrett Nussmeier more. Even though back in the day, Nate said he was going to get benched. Hell no. Beans is completely wrong on that one. Shout out Beans. But yeah, that gives us an all SEC national championship. I know you guys are going to think I'm a homer because I'm an SEC guy. But hey, I covered the Big Ten last year, and I love the Big Ten as well. And I mean, I just think that Texas and LSU will get there. I think LSU has a pretty good path, and I think LSU is just they have a good matchup against Penn State, and I think they're able to take advantage of it. Then my last one, who is going to win the national championship, LSU or Texas? I think we all know where I'm going. Texas is going to win the national championship. That's what I got. I think Arch is going to lead them there. And then I think he comes back again, even with that good of a year, because he wants to stay and get another year under his belt, because I don't know if it's going to be Arch the reason they wins. I don't think. I think he's going to be. He's not going to be the reason they lose. But also that defense is just going to be so good because of that pass rush. I think he's not going to have to do a ton, in my opinion. So that's why I think that Texas is going to win the national championship this year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what I got wrong, what you think. Let me know if you agree. I doubt we're going to agree, to be honest. There's just no way. I know a lot of people are going to be like, Texas or Florida getting in, Texas Tech getting in, Georgia only being an 11 seed, losing first round, something like that. So, yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Let me know, what I got wrong, what you think if you think I don't know ball now, but I know ball, and watch this happen. And as we all love to say, I made the right prediction. The kids just messed it up. So yeah, see y'all and peace out.